There is a man at your job called David. David has been there 14 years. He is the most competent engineer in his department. He has trained 3 people who are now 2 bands above him. He has never been promoted past his current band. David does not know why. He thinks the next review will be different. It will not be. David does not understand the company he works for. He understands the company he was told he works for. Every organization you have ever worked for runs on 2 rule books. The first one is the handbook you signed on your first day, the conduct policy, the escalation procedure, the vacation accrual table. It describes the company wants you to believe exists. The second rule book is the one nobody hands you. It is not written down, it is not trained on, it is absorbed by the people who survive long enough to read the patterns. It describes the company that actually exists. Every decision about you, promotion, pay, layoff, project, title, severance, gets made inside the second rulebook. The first rulebook is the cover. The second rulebook is the operating system. By the end of this video, you will have 14 rules from the second rulebook. Once you have them, you cannot stop seeing them. Rule 1. Your manager's calendar tells you your status before your review does. You used to have a recurring 30-minute slot every Tuesday. Now it gets rescheduled twice and shortened to 15. Sarah's slot has not moved in 6 months. Your manager has already told you where you sit in the team. You have just never learned to read calendars. Rule 2. Being indispensable is a containment strategy, not a compliment. There's a guy on your team who does the work nobody else understands. 3 years on the same system, no backfill, no documentation. He thinks the dependency is leverage. The dependency is the cage. Your value to the team is not the same as your value to your career. The company has every incentive to keep him exactly where he is. Rule 3. The person carefully explaining things in the meeting is being managed out. Watch who is doing the calm, walking through the data in the next contentious room, the patient one, the one absorbing the bad questions and answering each one in good faith. They are not winning the meeting. They are defending themselves. That is early-stage justification looks like before the justification becomes formal. Rule 4. Your salary was decided by the offer that anchored you, not the work you have done since. Whatever you accepted on day 1, every increase since has been a percentage of that number. If you came in 5% under market, the 3% annual raise was never going to fix it. Now you are 20% under market. The merit increase is not a merit increase. It is a maintenance fee on a number set by someone else. Rule 5. Your title was negotiated by someone else's leverage 3 years ago. The pay band you sit in was set by what the company had to pay to attract somebody else when the market was different. That number now controls your raises and your ceiling.
The person who got hired into your band last year came in at the top because the market changed. You came in at the middle. You will not catch them by staying. You will only catch them by leaving and being hired back. Rule 6. Calibration meetings rank you against people you have never met. Your manager walks into a closed room twice a year. Inside that room is every other manager at your level. They have a forced distribution to fit. They will trade rankings. They will defend their visible favorites and surrender their quiet workers. You have never sat in this room. You will never be told what happened in it. But your performance review reflects what was decided there before your manager opened the document with you. This is the center of the second rulebook. Most of what feels unfair in your career is a downstream effect of a meeting you were not invited to. Rule 7. HR documents you long before HR ever speaks to you. There is a file on you. It is not the personnel file you imagine. It is the running notes from your skip level, the Slack thread your manager forwarded, the summary one HR partner sent another HR partner after a coffee complaint from somebody in a different team. By the time anyone tells you there is a concern, the documentation is months old. The conversation is not the start of a process. The conversation is the announcement of a process that has already concluded. Rule 8. The one-on-one format changing is the earliest signal of removal. Your manager used to come to the one-on-one with a topic. Now they come with a list. The conversation that used to wander has become procedural. They are taking notes that go somewhere afterwards. This is not new management style. This is documentation. Once the format changes, the timeline has already started. Rule 9. Promotions reward visibility to sponsors, not output to your manager. Your manager does not promote you. Your manager nominates you. The promotion gets decided by people who have heard your name from somewhere other than your manager. If you are not visible to those people, your work could be flawless and the answer would still be next cycle. The work is the floor. The sponsorship is the ceiling. Most mid-career careers stall not on output, but on the second one. Rule 10. The 3% annual raise was never a raise. It was a partial correction against inflation that did not cover inflation. Your real wage has fallen every year you have stayed. The system is designed so that staying is a quiet pay cut. You do not feel it because the number on the paycheck went up. The buying power did not. The system does not need you to notice. The system needs you to be grateful. Rule 11. Loyalty is priced into your offer as a discount. When you stay, you accept the internal raise structure. When you leave, you negotiate the external market rate.
The gap between those two numbers, the gap that widens every year, is the loyalty discount. The company is not rewarding tenure. The company is collecting on it. Rule 12. The reorganization was decided before the all-hands ever announced it. The restructure you heard about on Thursday was approved in October. The deck was finalized in November. The conversations about who would report where were finished before the holiday break. The all-hands is not a decision point. It is a rollout. You were informed at the precise moment your input was no longer possible. That is not a communication failure. That is the design. Rule 13. Your tenure becomes a liability above year 7. At year 3, your tenure is an asset. At year 5, it is institutional knowledge. At year 7, it becomes a number on a compensation report that gets flagged. Above year 10, you are an expense the company is paying because no one wants to be the person who has to deal with you. The system tolerates long tenure. The system does not invest in it. Rule 14. Every email you send is a document in a file you will never see. Your inbox is not your inbox. It is a corporate record. The frustrated reply you sent at 11 p.m. 3 years ago is still there. The Slack message you assumed was a private joke is still there. The Teams chat with one colleague about a difficult manager is still there. None of it becomes relevant until something else becomes relevant. When something else becomes relevant, all of it appears at once in a folder somebody else has been keeping. 14 rules, not theory, not opinion, the operating logic of the place that signs your paycheck. The first rule book is the document you read on your first day. The second rule book is the one that runs everything. You are never going to be handed it. The people who know it accumulated it slowly, by accident, by injury, by watching one promotion cycle too many. There is no orientation for the two rule books. There is only the slow recognition that the things that felt unfair were never unfair. They were operating exactly as designed. David, the engineer from the start of this video, does not have the second rule book. He thinks his next review will be different. You now have something David does not. You will see it in the calendar that gets shortened, in the review that does not match the year you had, in the friend who left and came back at 30% more, in the colleague who was restructured 1 week before their bonus, in the silence after a calibration cycle nobody describes to you. It is not paranoia. It is the second rule book. You just have it now. That is corporate GPS, the map they never handed you.